What's going on, everybody? Today we are breaking down UFC 324's main card, giving you predictions and insights that no other YouTuber is going to give you. We'll start off with the main event, Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. I'm going to be real with you, I don't know why they made this matchup. Paddy Pimblett's best win was Michael Chandler a year ago. Before that, he beat Bobby Green and Tony Ferguson, who was already over the hill at that point. Michael Chandler shouldn't count as a good win in the UFC. Bro's 2-5. His best wins are Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson. And I say best, I mean only. Alright? The guy won his debut. Congratulations. He then went on a crazy losing streak just to fight Tony Ferguson, get a fluke front knee or front foot fucking knockout, Anderson Silva style. That was great. Don't want to take that away. I loved that. Watching that live, that was a crazy moment. But what everybody forgets is the round before that, Tony Ferguson was beating his ass. Tony Ferguson was doing work to Michael Chandler. Tony fucking Ferguson. Over the hill Tony. Alright, so I don't want to hear this about how good of a win Michael Chandler is. He's a shit fighter. Gaethje's being rewarded with an interim belt after sitting on his ass for a year. Why are we rewarding this? What the fuck? Why is this the opening of the Paramount card? It makes no sense to me. There were so many other fighters that could have done this, and we could have had an actual belt on the line. Instead, we're going to make some shit up because Iliad's got legal problems, and then we're going to have a #1 contenders fight a bantamweight. Like this is such a weak card to kick off the Paramount era. That being said, though, I am going with Justin Gaethje on this one. I just don't think you can go from beating guys like Tony Ferguson and Bobby Green and then like Michael Chandler to the top of the top at lightweight. I know that Gaethje's over the hill and he's 37 and he hasn't looked all that good recently, and the injuries are probably starting to catch up to the guy, but I think he's still got that dog in him. I see a late round 2 knockout for Justin Gaethje. I think that Pimblett's going to get too comfortable on the feet, and I think he's going to really struggle to grapple against Gaethje, because the only people we've seen really be able to grapple Gaethje are Charles Oliveira and Khabib. Granted, few other people have tried, but the people who have failed. And Paddy is a reactionary grappler. Dude gets like pressed up against the cage and will pull guard. Are we really, as MMA fans, choosing a fucking guard puller in the year 2026? I don't think so. I think Gaethje's got this one. I think this is his last hurrah, and after this, it's all going to be downhill from here. But I do think Justin Gaethje is going to beat Paddy. Moving on down the card, O'Malley moved up to the co-main event spot. But I think you're going to have a tough time arguing for Song Yodong in this fight. I mean, O'Malley's only losses have come against Merab, the Beast, Merab, the Machine. I mean, he has a win over Peter Yan, who's the current champ in the division, and he's a great technical striker with some pretty decent takedown defense against the guy in Song Yodong who has, let me check my notes here, 0 wins against anyone in the top 15. He lost to Kyler fucking Phillips. This is not a guy that's going to beat Sean O'Malley. This is a can they brought in so that they can put O'Malley on a win streak and sell the rematch against Peter Yan. To be honest with you, I'd rather they just book Yan O'Malley too. I know O'Malley's coming off a loss, but like, can we even count this as a win? The guy's a can. I mean, like, O'Malley's got wins over Vera. He's got wins over the current champ. Like, okay, sure, he might lose to Umar. He probably beats the shit out of Corey. Like, I don't know why why didn't we get O'Malley versus Corey? Why didn't that happen? Why are we getting Song? Why are we getting a fighter who hasn't had a win at the top of the sport ever in his career against what is, due to star power, one of the #1 contenders? It makes 0 sense to me. The only way you can think it makes sense is to think ahead to their next fight and go, oh, if Song wins, nothing happens. If O'Malley wins, we get a championship fight. So they're only making this fight so that O'Malley can get a highlight reel KO and rematch Peter Yan. That's the only reason they made this fight. Yeah, we're going Sean O'Malley by knockout. I mean, Sean's a phenomenal striker. He's 31. He's in his prime. He's such a frame bully, too. That's something else no one really talks about. The guy's 5'11", like close to 6 foot, fighting at 135. The fact that he could just like put his arm out there and stop half the roster from touching him is a bit unfair. And I do think that he would not do nearly as well up a weight class at 45, which is why he has to fight at 35. Song is 5'6", probably. O'Malley's like 5'10", 5'11". Like, Not even to mention the reach disadvantage. The reach differential here is crazy. Sean O'Malley has a 72-inch reach. Song Yodong has a 67-inch reach. That is 5 inches of space where Song has to move to like cover the distance to even land a punch, where O'Malley just has to do this. I don't see a world in which Song wins. I really don't. Moving further down the card, the big boys, all right? What would technically be my weight division, although I would cut down to 205. We got Wildo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. I love this fight. I fucking love this fight. I love that Acosta is poking fun at Tom instead of poking Tom in the eyes. All right? That's the only kind of poking I want done to Tom. That guy needs to get recovered, and fuck the Surreal Gone rematch. I don't even want to see that shit. Give me him versus Acosta, god damn it. I don't need to see some cheater, some French fucking frog cheater, all right, get rewarded with another undeserved title fight. God damn, give me Acosta. Acosta's been so active. He's fighting everyone. He's knocking people out. He's cutting promos. He's putting a little eye patch on. I love this guy. And another thing, why isn't Acosta ranked like number 2 or 3? Let's be real here, alright? Who the fuck put Curtis Blaydes in the top 5? His last win was 6 months ago against a Contender Series guy from Dagestan. They were given the push because he's the only Dagestani fighter at heavyweight. Other than that, he's done nothing but lose. We need a guy like Acosta out there who's putting it on the line, going out there month after month. This is the other thing about heavyweights, is you don't have to fucking cut weight. So if you're not getting injured, get back in there a month or 2 later. Why not? Right? Like, you have literally no reason not to. I don't want to harp on this Curtis Blaydes thing too long, but I really got it out for Curtis Blaydes. I might make a whole other video about how trash of a fighter he is and how undeserving of his ranking he is, right? Like, I need you out of my top 5. Right? I wouldn't mind if he's in the top 10. I know the top 10 doesn't fight that much. It's whatever. But the top 5 is active fighters who should be looking for the belt. There's no way in hell Curtis Blaydes is getting a title fight, even if he wins his next fight. And while we're talking about Curtis Blaydes and his wins and how much of a fake that he is, he fought Kuniev 6 months ago. And Kuniev lost. Kuniev is now matched up against Jailton fucking Almeida. Why? What wins does he have? He's done nothing but lose in his pro MMA career. How do you lose a fight against the number 4 ranked guy, come back and fight the number 2 ranked guy in your next fight? It makes no sense, except, oh wait, he's from Dagestan. I forgot. We let those guys do whatever the hell they want. They just need one win. They can challenge for a belt. And look, I know I haven't talked about Derek Lewis at all in this fight, and I don't mean to like ignore him. I love Derek Lewis. He's hilarious on the mic. I will get as much Derek Lewis as I can. But the dude's 40. He's over the hill. His last fight was against a Contender Series guy. His last win, rather, was against a Contender Series guy. I don't see him beating Acosta. Acosta just has this momentum with him. He's got the knockout power. He's got the submission ability. I don't want to count Derek Lewis out. I know Derek Lewis is always one single punch away from changing a fight. But I think that Acosta's going to get this one done. Moving on down the card, Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. Natalia Silva. Silva's going to win this one. It's not even close. And that's actually my prediction for the next fight on the card, with Brendan Allen versus Gene Silva. I mean, look, Allen's a great fighter. He's certified top 10 in his division. No arguments there. I am going to argue that he's a journeyman. I don't think that he really beats anyone in the top 5. I think that he struggles with grappling heavy styles, so that, you know, Merab, Umar, Peter, they're all going to mess his world up. Brendan Allen's a great fighter, right? From the UK, love his stand-up, love that he's active on the feet and not just, you know, pitter-patter shots. He defends takedowns really well. My problem with Allen is that whenever he gets caught up in the bright lights, he tends to fold under pressure. He really hasn't had his coming out party in that big moment, in that arena, with the fans cheering him on. He just hasn't done that. I mean, he fought Movzar and lost. If he won that fight, he probably would have been in title fight contention, but he got banished to the Shadow Realm after that. And to be honest with you, dude's fought for the company for 10 years. He started his UFC career in 2016. 10 years later, his best win is Dan Hooker. Maybe you could say the Sadiq Youssef win is better. You could argue that. You could try and talk to me about the Calvin Kattar win, but even in the Calvin Kattar win, Kattar blew his knee out with 8 seconds to go in the second round. So, like, No one even, like, I don't even know if we count that. So yeah, I think Silva is gonna just come out there and put the pressure on him, make him make mistakes. I know Allen's like a very technical boxer. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think Silva's just gonna be throwing so much at him that he's gonna be overloaded and he's gonna leave something open. I think that Brendan Allen's really gonna struggle with Silva's goofy techniques, I guess, is what we'll call them, his spinning kicks and his like crazy elbows and his weird submissions. I think that Allen's really gonna have a hard time with that. And let's be real here, Gene Silva has the momentum. I mean, aside from that one loss, but he wants that belt. I don't know if you guys saw that video of him like tearing up and crying over the UFC belt. Brendan Allen, you ain't beating that guy. You ain't beating that guy, bro. We all know you ain't beating that guy. That's what I think is going to go down at UFC 324. But come back and let me know if I got any of these right or if I got any of these wrong. I'm probably going to make a video about Curtis Blaydes next, so tune in if you want to see that. That'll be right here on the screen. And thank you so much for watching. I just started this channel, so please drop a like, drop a follow, subscribe. Anything helps. I really appreciate it. Take care, guys.